everybody. Welcome to Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is a place where we set oppression ablaze every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. on the East Coast, broadcasting to you live from nowhere other than Maryland, specifically Prince George's County, Maryland. Spell it M-U-R, Aura, I-L-L-A-N, Maryland. That is correct. Like to welcome everybody to the program. How's everybody feeling out there tonight, party people? Hope you guys are in a good mood, not getting overly frozen or snowed out or rained out in the weather, especially if you are joining us from North America. Shit's crazy out here in a myriad of ways. And on the geopolitical stage, things continue to intensify. We're going to get into it here in a bit. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to the program. In case you haven't heard, Pootie Pie, Mr. Putin, let me call him by his proper name, Mr. Putin. let me acknowledge my betters in the formal way that I should be. Mr. Putin said he is ready to let the chopper sing. Whew. And he showed off the chopper over Ukraine. We are going to take a look at the chopper, everybody, because the chopper, he got the 2025 shit. Putin ain't playing out here. And Putin said, y'all keep knocking on Russia's borders. You keep supplying Ukraine with these long-range missiles. We are going to let the chopper sing. And we don't want the chopper to sing, everybody. So we're going to get into some of the things in a little bit. Also, some quick reminders. Fascism already here, been here. Fascism got its feet up on the ottoman. Fascism is chilling. Fascism ain't waiting for Trump. I can't even speak. Fascism has been thriving very, very, very well under Joseph Robinette Biden and to those before. There is a case coming out of Los Angeles about a man tragically suffering a mental health crisis. You can probably fill in the blanks. LA sheriff's deputies were called. They shot him 12 times. And the cop was charged. Well, we have an outcome in this cop's charging. Shocker! Spoiler alert. The so-called progressive prosecutor out there in Los Angeles who was just defeated. Yeah, he gave this cop a sweetheart deal for literally a murder. So we're going to get into that. Also, anyway, there's a lot going on. So let me get focused here. Let me say what's up to all of our friends that are here with us checking in. I like to say hey to all of our good, wonderful moderators who are making themselves known and unknown to the folks. What's going on to Anna Hart? What's up to Mama Lo? What's up to Abby? What's up to my son Tyler? What's going on to Latif? Shout out to Courtney. What's up, Chuck Diesel? Hey, Wendy. Thank you so much. Renee Johnston in the building. Is Brooklyn in the house? Without a doubt, Renee is the host with clout of a rapper's rap about. Check it out. Guns, she bust them. Problems with Kamala, she'll discuss them. Yes. Shout out to Renee Johnston. Saturdays with Renee. What's up, Fran French? What's up, Warren? Ara, thank you so much, Warren. Thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate it. What's up, Cynical? Chichi Macha. Hello. Jenna, thank you so much. Hey, we had a good show on Tuesday. 7,000 views. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. YouTube fucks with me and then it lets me down. You know, YouTube takes me running in its rocket and gave me a stop. And then the half a mile from heaven, and YouTube drops me back down to what? To this cold, cold world. That's right. So anyway, give the video a like while you're in here, please. And thank you. Subscribe to the channel. We crossed over 6,500 subscribers very slowly. However, that means we're only 480 subscribers away from 7,000. So you guys can help out, especially if you're just popping in real quick on the vertical stream. Hit the subscribe button while you're in here. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. So let's jump right into the thing. because less than 2 weeks after the presidential election here in the United States, when it was, I guess, declared that Trump is going to be president yet again, Biden, whom I'm not exactly sure is still president, though technically he is somehow, because Joe Biden was not competent enough or capable or having the faculties enough to run and be president again, but remains president somehow. Here he is pushing buttons and making decisions. And less than 2 weeks after the election, he decided to go ahead and authorize the use of long-range missiles by Ukraine into Russia. Not just US, the UK authorized the use of some of its long-range missiles also. And in response, Vladimir Putin said, "Oh, well, guess what? We got some new rules." The new rules in terms of Russia's use of a nuclear response. It used to be, I think, Russia was on some mutual assured destruction shit. If we or anybody let a nuclear arm we fired one off at Russia, well, Russia was going to fire one off at us. Now Russia said, "Well, we have revised that standard down just a bit." If any of y'all motherfuckers think that y'all gonna supply Ukraine with some long range shit, guess what? Y'all are now on the list to get hit. Include yourself. And he named names. and Putin did name names. Actually, well, I might send you the link to the Putin speech because I couldn't find it as a standalone. It's kind of running on a loop. But let me see if I can find that real quick. But first, I want us to hear from the Russian foreign minister, my baby father. His name is Sergey. Sergey Lavrov. He takes good care of his family. We have nice rubles in the dacha over here. I say Sergey is my baby father because I met the foreign minister once. So, and I think he liked me. Oh, I think he liked me. Oh, I think he liked me. So anyway, Sergey is my baby father. He also happens to be the foreign minister for the Russian Federation. And he speaks very good English. So we're going to listen to what Sergey had to say about the use of these long-range missiles. And like, hey, if you give Ukraine the green light to use your shit, not only are we going to hit Ukraine, we're going to hit you too. And Russia displayed its new chopper, the 2025 chopper. Actually, this might be the 2026 chopper. This shit is fancy. They let that joint sing over Ukraine already. So we got the pictures. So let's take a look of these two clips of Sergey Lavrov and Russia's new missile weapon.
Long-range missiles are going to be applied from Ukraine into Russian territory. It will also mean that they are operated by American experts, military experts. And we will be taking this as a qualitatively new phase of the Western war against Russia, and we'll react accordingly. As regards Trump's position on Ukraine, I cannot guess. He said that he is a president of peace, not the president of war. Politicians in particular, who declare that they prefer peace to war, deserve support, I think, in general.
I think is most important here is that it's not a weapon that's ever been used on a conventional battlefield, Lindsay. So it's something that you would only use in a nuclear war.
Putin was obviously trying to send a message with this nuclear-capable missile, but should we still be confident that he won't use the real thing?
I don't think so, Lindsay. This is pretty spooky, and why I think it's particularly dangerous is he's run out of bluffs. He had this, and he demonstrated a nuclear-capable missile with multiple independently targeted warheads that didn't have nukes on them, but could have. So what do you do next to bluff? Could it be you demonstrate a small nuclear weapon somewhere in Ukraine to say?
So, I mean, I don't take Putin for a punk, to be perfectly honest. Okay. Putin told who's them people, Kim? NATO. He told NATO that if you keep pushing NATO forces up against Russia's borders, we will respond. They have responded. Okay. And just like Israel, Ukraine would be ass out of this fucking war if the US wasn't supplying them heavily with arms and the necessary material resources just to keep the basic functions of Ukraine operating as a country, right? And Ukraine has suffered tremendous losses. Hundreds of thousands of people, soldiers, civilians, people have perished under this Russia-Ukraine war, which Ukraine cannot win. And since Zelensky has been begging the Biden administration for the use for the authorization to use these arms, and let me point out something that Sergei Lavrov said there, right? It's not so much that Ukraine, like we just gave Ukraine the keys to the missiles and they turned them shits on and they shooting missiles. No, someone and people, either from the U.S. military itself or from our defense contractors or someone affiliated with the fucking country, with America, UK, NATO, etc., is there helping Ukraine to operate this machinery, right? To operate this weaponry. And that's Sergey and Vladimir's point. That's Sergey and Vladimir's point. Like if you're going to help, then you are also on the target list. And apparently the Russian Federation, there's multiple messages coming out of Moscow. There's a combination of Putin saying that military targets are on the menu. And we'll look at the doc real quick. I just dropped a YouTube link at the very top under the first segment. I didn't label it anything, but it is Vladimir Putin. If you click on it, it's Vladimir Putin's live speech and it's looped. And I can't recall who posted it. There was a couple things here. Like it was shit I was not able to find very easily today, and I was a little disappointed behind that. What's up, my brother? You got it? If you don't trip. But I did what if possible, if we could hear a little bit of what Vladimir had to say. And the funny thing is, when I was watching his speech today, it just kind of reminded me the absence of international news from mainstream legacy media outlets in the United States. We used to get English overdubbing of world leaders giving different addresses, addressing their people, doing whatever the fuck. We don't get them shits no more. If the international world leader does not speak English, chances are you are not going to get the overdubbing of the translation. You got it, brother Wilbur. Go ahead and run it.
There's a mistake on the part of the United States to destroy the system that was established by the Missile Treaty in 2019. We see that the United States and their allies are now considering and has successfully tested their capabilities to deploy advanced missile systems in different parts of the world. And their exercises routinely include the use of such weapons. Russia has unilaterally refused to deploy intermediate and small-range missiles until we see similar weapons deployed by the United States in a region of the world. The use of the novel system, which was essentially an operational test, was carried out in response to the decisions made by the United States and their allies.
You're talking about that new chopper.
Further actions will be considered and decided based on what we see from them. The further course of action will be determined based on the threats to the security of the Russian Federation. We believe that we have the right to use our weapons against military facilities of countries who allow their weapons to be used against ours. And in case of an escalation, we will act as decisively in a mirror fashion. The ruling elites of the countries are nurturing plans to use their military contingents against Russia should be warned. When choosing measures to be used in response, such as the use of systems that was tested recently in Ukraine, will certainly include warnings to civilians to clear the zones that will be targeted, and we will certainly do this in a transparent fashion. And we do not have any fears that it will reduce the effectiveness of those systems, because there is no way to counteract a missile that flies at 10 Mach, which is 2.5 to 3 kilometers per second. Existing anti-missile systems and the anti-missile systems deployed by the United States and Europe cannot intercept such missiles. It is impossible. So once again, it is not Russia, but the United States who have destroyed the system of international security. And they are trying to preserve their hegemony and stoking a global conflict. We have always preferred, and we still prefer, to resolve our disagreements using peaceful means, but we are prepared.
This is a quick look at Canopy
son
by
of a
Armstrong
bitch.
Ceilings. Your online
Sorry about
everything.
that, y'all. Sorry. Well, that was a good chunk of it. Is there, because there might be a little bit more. Go ahead. Let them cook.
About events that are happening in the Special Military Operations Zone. I'm talking about what happened in the wake of long-range Western weapons being used in the Special Military Operations Zone. As a result of the escalation, the United States and their NATO allies said that they give their permission to use long-range weapons against targets inside Russia. Experts know fully well, and the Russian side has underscored this time and again, that using such weapons without the direct involvement of military operators from manufacturing countries is impossible. On November the 19th, 6 ATACMS missiles manufactured in the US were used, and on the 21st, a combined attack using Storm Shadow manufactured in the UK and missiles manufactured in the US were used to attack missile targets in the Bryansk and Kursk regions of the Russian Federation. Starting from that point, as we have underscored many times, the regional conflict in Ukraine, provoked by the West, acquired a global character. Our anti-missile systems countered those attacks. As a result, the targets and objectives set by the enemy were not achieved. The fire and the ammunition storage in the Bryansk region, as a result of fragments of ATACMS missiles falling, has been contained. No victims. In the Kursk region, one of the command and control centers of our Sever group was attacked. As a result of the attack and the countermeasures, there have been people wounded and killed, and those who were involved in servicing these facilities, those who were members of the command have not been hit by the attack and are now continuing their operation to remove the enemy from the Kursk region. I repeat, the use of such weapons cannot change the course of the special military operation. Our military is successfully advancing along the entire line of contact, and all the objectives that we set before ourselves will be met. As a response to the use of US and UK manufactured weapons, the Russian forces have carried out a combined strike on one of the military industrial facilities in Ukraine. And this included the test of a novel intermediate range Russian missile system. A ballistic missile with a non-nuclear hypersonic payload was used. The test was carried out successfully. The objectives of the launch have been met. One of the largest and well-known industrial centers that is known since the Soviet times in the Dnieper region, which is known and to be involved in enemy production, was hit. And further plans are being made in Europe and the Asia Pacific to deploy weapons and missiles. And we believe it is a mistake on the part of the United States to destroy the system that was established by the Missile Treaty in 2019.
That's good. Well, I think
We see that the United States and their allies.
So yes, so that was Vladimir Putin in what some are calling a pretty rare national televised address to the Russian people to announce, yep, we got this new chopper. We're going to let it sing over Ukraine. As you heard that they announced, or he announced, and the military announced that they were able to deploy that new missile to destroy a munitions manufacturing plant in the Ukraine. He said it did not contain nuclear warheads, though the experts say that it does have nuclear warhead capability. And y'all can keep playing games if you want to. But let me tell you how shitty it is. Let me take the position of the empire here momentarily, if I could, like if I really gave a fuck how America fares in losing its global dominance on the military stage. Let's say I cared for a second. You know how shitty it is for Joe Biden to authorize the use of these long-range missiles for Ukraine to deploy these missiles against Russia weeks before the new president is about to be sworn in and take office, and leaving a brand new mess. There's nothing unintentional. That was not an accident, right? And you know what? Again, pretending that I care here for a second, it is definitely fucked the Biden administration all day, because let us examine once again the load of Democrat hypocrisy when it comes to all the rhetoric around Trump. Trump is a fascist. Trump is going to be the end of democracy. Oh, well, it appears that Trump won the election. Well, then let's peacefully transfer the power over to the fascists. It's like, if you really believed he was a fascist, then why are you just going along with the script? If democracy is really on the line, then what are you doing to fight against it? You're just going along with the program. Okay, cool. But in the interim, and in the process of going along with the program, you're kind of making it tougher for the next man coming in to deal with this problem of Russia at least increasing its saber rattling. Putin has saber rattled like this in the past, but the dynamic has changed. As you heard Foreign Minister Lavrov say, or was it Putin who just said, this whole deal has acquired a new global character, and he named the United States and UK specifically. If you want to authorize the use of your made weapons against us, then you are going to be included. And you also heard President Putin get very specific. We will be aiming at military targets. We will give civilians advanced notice to get the fuck out of Dodge. We will be transparent and telling people when we about to let the chopper sing. But guess what? Your military targets in Europe and in Asia, where Putin just said they're about to start deploying new missile armaments, it's about ready to strap up time, guys. And Will, if you could cue up Trump for us, please. This is a clip of a speech that Trump gave this week at Mar-a-Lago. And he gave, let me hit y'all with the chronology. So the original chronology is Biden authorizes the use of the long-range missiles by Ukraine against Russia. Putin responds with the yappa over Ukraine and a very uncharacteristic national televised speech to announce that, nigga, we are not playing no fucking games. And then here comes Trump, which I found very interesting. So we'll go ahead and play. This is Trump's response, I believe, to Putin's speech. And this is just an excerpt, but an interesting excerpt. Let's take a listen.
The situation in Ukraine is very dangerous, explosive, and escalating by the day. Joe Biden's weakness and incompetence has brought us to the brink of nuclear war, and now Biden is doing what he said 10 months ago would lead to World War III. He is sending in American tanks. It's far past the time for all parties involved to pursue a peaceful end to the war in Ukraine before this already horrific catastrophe spirals out of control and ends up leading, indeed, to World War III. And this would be a war like no other war, because this would be a nuclear war. As I have said many times before, Russia's invasion of Ukraine would have never happened if I was in the White House. Not even thinkable, not even a possibility. We must end this ridiculous war and demand peace in Ukraine now before it gets worse. And believe it or not, it would be easy to do. It would be very easy to do.
So the speech in its entirety was pretty interesting to me for a number of reasons. And so even, hold on, let's focus on that clip there for a second. Now, we know Trump is an enigma, and I do not mean that like in a nice way, right? I'm not trying to I don't praise Donald J. Trump. This motherfucker's a lunatic. And a Klansman, all kinds of things. But what he does do on occasion is he fucks around and tells the truth. And as uncouth and as against norm that it is for the incoming president-elect to openly criticize the sitting president while he's still in office, I obviously still making foreign policy decisions, but I'm like, God damn it, was Trump wrong? Is Joe Biden not behaving incompetently? Yeah, he is. Is he doing things that could possibly accelerate the heat that is quickly ramping up there in Eastern Europe and on the Russian front? Absolutely, Joe Biden is doing these things. And for the whole speech that Trump gave right there, he didn't really riff. He didn't really go off script. He actually delivered the fucking speech, which I thought was pretty telling of, in my perception, how serious his team, I suppose, must be taking these escalations of rhetoric coming from Russia, right? Because it's serious. As much as we are right to be focused on the genocides, multiple, tragically, that are happening primarily in Palestine, but also in the Congo, also in Sudan, the continued issues going on in Haiti, you know, what is happening with Russia and Ukraine, and Russia and NATO more specifically, has, I think, a lot more short-term, dire, potentially cataclysmic consequences that I think we as a country, we're not really tuned into this. I don't think America and Americans are quite aware of what Vladimir Putin is talking about, nor are we aware of the decisions that are being made by our leaders at the top levels, how that is literally potentially going to impact us, right, here stateside. So I found it interesting that Trump, of all niggas, like, right, Trump is too busy trying to stock his cabinet. Trump is, you know, making sure his gold toilet gets installed in the presidential residence. Like, Trump's got other things on the agenda. So for him to actually take a moment and have a somewhat sober address to specifically talk about what's happening in Russia and Ukraine and NATO and the US potentially, to me said a lot. And let me stay in my naivete bag here for a second. I do think Trump could potentially end the war in Ukraine. And that's the other message that has been coming out of Moscow, even I believe just today, that Putin says that he will consider talks of a ceasefire, but he'll only talk to Trump. Now, I'm not sure. I think I only saw that in one source. So I have not confirmed that through multiple sources, as is my process, but it sounds plausible, right? So it would be interesting if Trump is going to be able to do or say anything that could turn the temperature down between Russia and Ukraine. However, if NATO, specifically the UK, who else? Who did Germany just host? Germany just hosted somebody and somebody else was pissed. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Lavrov. Who the fuck was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But NATO, the NATO countries are the ones that need to be concerned. And I honestly think that US military bases and NATO bases in particular should probably turn on, turn on their notifications. they should turn on your notifications, because some shit could be flying over your heads and into your beds coming from the east, because when the east is in the house, oh my god. So there's that. But hold on. So what was the other thing? Oh, duh. Even though I don't have a clip of this, we could absolutely mention this, throw this in here, because it is, I suppose, good news if it in fact yields in an arrest and detention, charges and punishment. The fact that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his right hand youngin, what's his nigga's name? Joel, Mr. Gallant, another war criminal. Netanyahu, Gallant, and I think even some members of Hamas have had arrest warrants issued for them by the International Criminal Court. Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement. He was frothing at the mouth, I think a little spittle came out of his mouth. He was furious. How dare these Arabs? How dare these Africans? How dare? I saw different world leaders, or the world leaders and representatives of governments being asked directly by their media if Netanyahu, for example, came to Canada. Justin Trudeau was asked this directly at a press conference this week. The Canadian president, or prime minister, whatever the fuck. Trudeau was asked directly, hey, if Netanyahu comes over here, y'all going to arrest him? Because Canada is a original founding member of the International Criminal Court, and Trudeau went into this lengthy, long explanation about Canada's role in the ICC and all this bullshit, but eventually had to say yes. The UK Home Secretary was asked directly if Netanyahu were to come to the UK, would you arrest him? She refused to give an answer. She said, I don't know nothing about that. That's somebody else's department. But it's interesting to me to see these Israeli allies hemming and hawing about whether or not they would adhere to the international law. Now, of course, the United States doesn't adhere to no fucking international law. America don't give a fuck about no international law. Just like in actual America, like the laws are for the others. the oligarchs and the people in power, they get to yield the law as a weapon, as a hammer, as a sword. Even the laws are for us. The laws are not for them. So that's how America views international law. The laws are for the other countries of the world, not for America. So Netanyahu can flee here, come here. They even say Netanyahu's son is down in South Beach chilling. Go chilling. So yeah, don't be surprised if the United States ends up harboring war criminals, which, by the way, we're very good at. John Bolton still here. George W. Bush still here. Dick Cheney also still here. We are the war criminals, nowhere to come. When they want to go deep cover, and you don't stop. So we do want to shout out to the International Criminal Court for doing, I suppose, I'm going to say the right thing. At the same time, it's the bare minimum. This has been months in the making for this these arrest warrants to even be issued, and it came after reams and reams of evidence of genocide authorized by the Netanyahu administration, coming in the form of starvation, intentional starvation of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, with the intentional bombing of not only sacred spaces, but refugee camps, tent cities, the targeting of snipers and drones against children, against injured persons. Reprehensible, deplorable. And by the way, both the Biden White House and the incoming Trump administration also issued statements of support for Benjamin Netanyahu and statements of condemnation against the International Criminal Court for issuing these arrest warrants. So meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Biden's for genocide, Trump also for the genocide, and also in defense of the genocidaires. That's interesting words to say when you say it out loud. So yeah, so the good news, Netanyahu might be in cuffs. Psych, no, he won't. But the fact that he's not going to be able to move freely throughout the world, I think is a good thing because Palestinians cannot move freely throughout their homeland. So fuck him. Let us take a small pause for the cause. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the place where we set oppression ablaze. I appreciate all of our folks checking in, saying what's up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big up to Leah Boggs. I don't know if Leah's in here or not. She may not be, but that's okay. Shout out to Leah because she sent Ear Doctor and I some classical breakdown Cash App support right before the show, saying that she and her hubby were checking out this week's classical breakdown where the Ear Doctor and I featured the one and only DJ Premier. Please go over to Black Liberation Media and check that out. Give that a like if you can. And we appreciate that. Obviously, check out all the wonderful programming that Black Liberation Media has to offer. Hey, Schultzy. It says Schultzy's in here. What's up, Schultzy? Northern Witch. We got Holly Horn, Radical Whites. Yes. Come on in here. We got some white people we need y'all to punch. We're gonna give you will receive your dossiers in the mail. We got photos, locations. We need you to knock some crackers out. Radical Whites. What's up, young Black economists? Yes, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it so much. Hey, we got trolls in the building. What's up, trolls? Come on in here, trolls. Now, mods, be nice to the trolls. Let the trolls cook a little bit. Let them get some shit off their chest. You know what I'm saying? Let them get some shit off their chest. My nephew is in here, Don Hammond. Thank you so much, nephew. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, let the trolls cook a little bit because the trolls, y'all want everything. Or at least you think you did. you think you did. And then Trump's about to start fucking y'all over and y'all going to be in confusion. Y'all going to be like, wait a second. How come? Let me advise people. Listen, I think we should all be doing Black Friday economic boycotts, right? Just cause. Just for GP. But let me say this. If your intention is to perhaps purchase it, let's say a new iPhone, like I need to, right? I think I want to get that shit before Trump gets in the office because how much of a tariff is Trump going to put on my Chinese made iPhone? My iPhone that's already expensive. My iPhone that is already potentially like a rent payment, right? All by itself, just the fucking phone, right? Or I can option into 2-year contract through the phone company slavery and pay in installments at God knows what the percentage rate is, the interest rate. So if you have some things that you would like to purchase and they are not manufactured in the US, which would probably be 95% of the shit that you would want to buy, you might want to consider getting that shit because Trump is going to slap the tariffs on it. And your thing that used to cost however much, expected to potentially be as much as 25% more. Thanks, Trump. Yeah, Trump's going to screw everybody, but that's okay. Y'all think he's going to be screwing over the undocumented people, which he is. However, these goofball Trump supporters don't understand how much contribution and impact that undocumented people have on the national economy and chances are the local economy where you are. But y'all gonna learn. It's okay. I'm not gonna say. So anyway, I appreciate you all being here so much. And I just wanted to remind us, because there was so much fright, anxiety, fear, trepidation, impending doom on the horizon. Donald Trump is going to be president. Oh my God. Here come the fascists. Oh my God. The whites are going to be out of control. Oh my God. It's not going to be safe for Black people. Oh my God. And to those people, I would just ask you, where have you been for the past 4 years? You been here? Did you go elsewhere and come back? And now you're concerned about fascism? No, beloveds. Fascism has always been here, kids. Not only has it always been here, especially if you are in a marginalized group, but let's even stick to the recent past, shall we? The recent present, the recent past. Don't worry so much about the future for the moment. So in 2021, who was president in 2021? Wait. Don't tell me. In Joe Biden's America, out in Los Angeles County in 2021, there was a father of three. His name is David. David was in the midst of a mental health crisis. He was armed with a knife. He was contemplating self-harm. And his family, not really knowing what to do, did what so many people do, and they shouldn't do. But they called the police for help, okay? And if you thought, especially if you've been watching this channel here, we've featured so many cases of people being murdered by police who were experiencing a mental health crisis. People who were murdered when the police could have de-escalated the situation in so many other different ways. But instead, they opted to immediately go for lethal force when they don't have to do that. So this happened quite a bit under Joe Biden. What do you think is going to happen under Donald Trump? More of the same, probably. But I want us to go back and focus on David. So let's take a look at the case when or about when it happened. So this, I think the incident, this man was murdered. David was murdered in 2021, but I think it took up until 2022 for charges against the Los Angeles sheriff's deputy to finally be announced. So Will, let's take a look at that package, please.
LA County Sheriff's deputy is facing criminal charges. He's accused of shooting a man who was already on the ground. Deputy Raymond Pineda is facing 2 assault charges in that deadly shooting that happened in March of 2021. David Ordaz was shot multiple times in East LA after he allegedly ran toward deputies with a knife. Prosecutors say after Ordaz fell down and dropped the weapon, Pineda continued firing. And in a statement, District Attorney George Gascon said, quote, "Unlawful and excessive force at the hands of police erodes the public trust and leads to further divisions between law enforcement and the community they serve."
So you heard that, right? So David Ordaz Jr. was murdered by Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy after Mr. Ordaz had already fallen to the ground and the sheriff's deputy continued to shoot him in the back. Mr. Ordaz was shot a total of 12 times. He was shot in front of multiple family members. And George Gascon, who was the supposed progressive prosecutor, we know the term progressive prosecutor is about as useful as that roll of Charmin hanging next to your toilet. The best you can do with it is wipe your ass. Progressive prosecutor, such a misnomer. Anyway, Gascon, progressive prosecutor. So you heard a statement right there. Hey, excessive force, we're not going to deal with that light-handedly. We're going to deal with the use of excessive force by our officers. It erodes the public trust. Yup, sure does. You know what else erodes the public trust? When killer cops get sweetheart deals. Or when killer cops are only prosecuted performatively, a la what Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, she did with the killers of Freddie Gray. Yeah, she charged them all right. She ain't getting now a conviction. So the fuck did we do here? So anyway, Gascon, you heard Gascon's words. Well, there's been an update on the story. And I'd like to actually kick it to the erudite Cerise Castle, who posted this on her TikTok. She has been following the story. Guys, okay, let's take the over under for y'all who don't know. Do you think the cop is going to jail for shooting a man in the back, shooting him a total of 12 times, shooting him while he was having a mental health crisis, shooting him while he had a knife? You know, I could have swore these pussy ass cops was taught hand-to-hand combat techniques. Oh, well, if someone's coming at a cop with a knife, he has a right to kill him. No, the fuck he doesn't. Because guess what? If you was a civilian were to murder somebody with a knife or a gun, you heard the term, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. It's an escalation of force. A knife is not a gun. Anyway, let me calm down. Cerise Castle is going to bring us up to speed about what happened to this cop. Pay attention to how Mr. Gascon, the progressive prosecutor, pay attention to the deal that was worked out with this murderous Los Angeles sheriff's deputy. Take a listen.
LA Sheriff's Deputy Raymond Pineda won't serve any time in jail for killing David Ordaz Jr. That's because the LA District Attorney's Office accepted a plea deal with Pineda, even though Ordaz's family opposed it.
I personally told them that I was angry, upset, and saddened at their decision, and it didn't matter to them. They're going through with this decision that they've already made.
A nearly identical plea deal was rejected by Judge Michael Pastor last year, but the case was taken over by Judge Mark Arnold, who was a former sheriff's deputy, earlier this year. David Ordaz Jr. was a father of 3 and experiencing a mental health crisis on March 14, 2021. His sister called for help, but when deputies arrived, they shot Ordaz 12 times. Pineda was the only one charged, and he fired 2 of the 4 fatal shots. Raymond Pineda will serve 2 years of probation. He will also be required to serve 250 hours of community service, complete 1 year of psychological counseling, relinquish his post certificate that licenses him to be a police officer, make a payment of restitution, and issue a written apology to Ordaz's family. That's the most lenient sentence DA Gascon's office has given to a cop who killed. For more on this, make sure you read my full story for LA Public Press.
It's very hard to get killer cops charged with anything when they murder people in the community. It's even harder to get a conviction. It's even harder to get an appropriate sentence. And 2 years probation is not an appropriate sentence whatsoever. He shot a person in the back after they were already down on the ground. To the extent that the sheriff's deputies attempted to render aid, I'm not sure. But this happened under a Democrat mayor in Los Angeles, under a Democratic prosecutor, district attorney, under a Democratic president. California also has Democratic senators, Democratic congressional representation. Like, who told liberals that fascism only existed under Trump? Like, who told people this? Where did they get this? What is it about Trump's America that makes it more scary than Joe Biden's America? If you're a woman, if you are a person of color, if you're a black person, if you're a disabled person, Trump just says the shit with no guile, right? Trump is not trying to sugarcoat shit out here, right? In some ways, to me, that's what makes him a little bit more redeemable. I keep hearing the clips of Malcolm X are floating around TikTok, and they keep coming up on my timeline about the wolf and the fox, and how the Republicans to black people are the wolves. Nigga, ain't no pretense with a fucking wolf. you know what kind of time the wolf is on. The wolf don't have to be slick. The wolf is letting you know where they stand immediately. It's the fox that you have to be wary of. The fox is more sly. The fox is a little bit more tricksy, right? You don't know. Fox might be cool, but not if you are the prey. So let us not be fooled between the fox and the wolf. These are both our enemies. Their presentation styles are just a little different, but their objectives are the same. And I'm very saddened for this family who told the prosecutor that this is a deal that they did not accept. And normally for victims' families, not to say that these prosecuting offices that they clear things with the victims' families, but in some instances they do. And in some cases, they may or may not move forward with a plea deal based on the family's wishes. But it's clear here, Attorney Gascon, Prosecutor Gascon, who's outgoing, by the way, he got his ass whooped in the election. I don't even know who his replacement is going to be. I saw him on TMZ once. It's weird. There's been so many fucking politicians showing up on TMZ. I don't even know what to say. Anyway, Kim Fox was on fucking TMZ today talking about Juicy Smollett. I said, God damn. It's like TMZ gets more elected officials on this bitch than motherfucking MSNBC. Shit's crazy. But example that so let it be clear here that fascism definitely existed under Joe Biden's America. And are the police going to be a more scarier of an institution under Donald Trump? I can't really fucking say, to be honest, because when have they not been scary as shit for Black people? When have they not been scary as shit for women? Oh, and speaking of women, let me tell you how this whole your body, my choice is showing up even before it was coined as a stupid, goofy, misogynistic phrase. The spirit of your body, my choice has always been here. And while we doing cops ain't shit, let me take y'all to Missouri, where the cops definitely ain't shit. But we got two cops in particular who, shocker, ain't shitting at the same damn time, okay? Now, this isn't brutality case, or maybe in some ways, depending on your perspective, this could be viewed as brutality. But when we talk about the police overstepping their bounds in the ways of the violation of regular people's constitutional rights and civil rights, which is a very regular, commonplace occurrence amongst American law enforcement versus the citizenry and versus the residents of this country. We have our rights violated all the fucking time. It's only when these bitches get caught do we even get a glimpse into the vastness of how frequent police abuse their power. So going to Missouri here, we're going to hear a story that kills two birds in one stone, because there were two cops, one a Missouri state trooper, the other a police officer, or maybe perhaps former police officer at this point, from Florissant, Missouri. Where's my STLians at? St. Louis, the 314. If you're familiar with St. Louis, you know what Florissant is. Florissant is the county, right? Florissant is just like Ferguson, to be honest, right? I used to mob out there in St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? Florissant is Negroes in Florissant, you know what I'm saying? Plenty of Black people in Florissant. But this cop was in Florissant. This cop was on the force not even a year. Not even a year. And I want you to hear what these two fucking dirtbags was doing on the job. Abusing their power and violating women. At the same goddamn time, these motherfuckers was ain't shitting being ain't shit simultaneously at the same time. You think it's just these two? I don't think so. Will, go ahead and run the package, please. Thank you.
Officer accused of using his power to steal nude photos from people during traffic stops, now facing federal charges.
And on top of that, we've learned a second law enforcement officer in Missouri is accused of the same crime. First Alert 4 has been following the case in Florissant, hearing from several victims and attorneys taking legal action against the ex-cop. Now, our Melanie Johnson, who's been on this case from the beginning. Melanie, what can you tell us about what we're learning tonight?
Yes, Sam and Corey, we're live outside the U.S. Attorney's Office, where that former Florissant police officer has been indicted on federal charges. One attorney tells me he could see up to 21 charges. This comes as a list of civil and federal lawsuits are being filed against that ex-cop being accused of violating women he pulled over. Florissant police confirming to First Alert 4 a man who once wore their uniform has been indicted by the feds, who say he stole naked photos of women during traffic stops. There's Jane Doe 1.
This man should be held accountable for what he has done to us.
Jane Doe 2.
I believe my constitutional rights were broken.
And Jane Doe 3.
What you did to me and these other females, how you overused your power as a police officer to do these things, to make these women feel this way. You should be disgusted in yourself.
These victims came forward to First Alert 4 and filed lawsuits against former Florissant police officer Julian Alcala. According to court documents, the first case happened in February.
Mr. Alcala is not a bank robber. He's a guy who somehow let the power go to his head.
Attorney Beavis Schock is suing Alcala in federal court. The former Florissant officer is scheduled to go on trial in 2026 for taking the nude photos after asking to see insurance information via phone.
There was another person indicted today, a trooper, I think in southern Missouri, for the same conduct. Sometimes there are coincidences, and sometimes there aren't coincidences.
Ex-Missouri State Highway Patrol Trooper David McKnight is facing similar allegations in Cape Girardeau. The 39-year-old charged with committing civil rights crimes against 9 women. He's accused of swiping naked photos in their phones, including Emily Northern's.
It was really violating.
While Florissant PD tell First Alert 4 Wednesday they are disgusted at their former officer's behavior, more stories of Alcala's conduct continue to come out.
We have 6 now. Apparently, there are 21 counts of misdemeanor. I believe there are 10 who are in suit. I know of one who doesn't want to get involved. So I think we're going to have more people joining the civil case.
Florissant police tell us that no other officers were involved in these crimes, and during Alcala's time with the force, that there were no complaints as well. Attorney Beavis Schock says he's expected to do in court sometime this week.
And Melanie, you've been investigating these accusations for months now, and this is really the first time Florissant police have gone into this much detail about their former officer. What else did they tell you about him?
We've got new updates within the last hour. One of them saying they will not release a picture of this ex-officer because he no longer is an employee. We also got other information tonight about they did do a background check and everything came up clean. Another thing they wanted to really reiterate is that they feel betrayed by this officer because he did not uphold the values of the Florissant Police Department. We're live in downtown St. Louis tonight. Melanie Johnson, First Alert 4.
Melanie, thank you for that update.
Wow, there's a lot there. You guys see the protection that the piggy, bad former Florissant cop is still receiving? The Florissant police will not release a picture of former Officer Alcala because he's no longer employed with the department. Yes, but isn't he the predator? Even if he's not accused of doing anything overtly physical to these women, is he not demonstrating a pattern of predation, of his willingness to violate people's personal property in order to discover or steal, rather, their most intimate media of themselves, photos and videos of them either naked or in doing things that they did not want Officer Alcala to fucking see during the goddamn traffic stop? Look at how the cop's still getting protected, even after he's been caught and charged federally and now being also sued federally. He's still getting protection. Isn't that amazing how that works? See, look at the cops don't even want you to know. They don't even want you to know who the bad apples are, right? Oh, it's just a few bad apples. Listen, I don't believe in coincidences, to be perfectly honest with you. However, I do not know whether or not this Missouri State Trooper, who's also charged with the same fucking thing as the Florissant cop, I don't know whether or not they knew each other. But the fact that they were doing the same thing, independent of one another in different areas of the state, Cape Girardeau, where the Missouri State Trooper is in the southeast corner of Missouri, sort of down there on the boot. I think that's where Rush Limbaugh is from, Cape Girardeau. By the way, did you guys know people keep pissing on Rush Limbaugh's grave? Good work. Y'all keep that up. Anyway, so the fact that these two cops were operating in the same state, doing the same dastardly deeds, does not denote a coincidence to me. Do you know what it tells me? That is indicative of cop culture, probably not just in Missouri, but probably nationwide. Of course, police know that people keep all kind. Your entire life is in your phone, okay? And if you are of a certain age demographic in particular, the likelihood that you have taken naked pictures of yourself or recorded yourself or have some sort of sexual something on your phone, the likelihood is very high. And these cops know that. And they use that to their advantage. They use their positions as police to acquire these victims' cell phones and gave themselves access to their personal pictures and videos. And that tells me that another cop told these other cops, hey, bro, did you know? Yeah, bro, all you got to do when you pull over a hot chick, yeah, man. Yeah, bro, tell her, hey, yeah, just tell her you need her insurance. Yeah, you know, all these youngins, listen to me. All these young people keep everything on their fucking phone. So just tell her you need her phone to verify her insurance. Let me stop right there because I don't blame any of these women who had their information stolen from them by these police officers, right? But what it does do is presents us an opportunity to understand that we have to guard our information at all costs, okay? Especially against the state, especially in something as innocuous as a traffic stop, as something that's so small that you wouldn't even think twice about handing over your phone that has your insurance information just so he can verify your insurance, all that bullshit that they make motorists go through. It would be advantageous to perhaps obtain paper copies of these things because you just don't want to be handing over your phone to the cops for any fucking reason. Once your phone is out of your possession, it's out of your possession, right? These cops can tell you anything. Well, we're going to be confiscating your phone because blah, blah, blah. A majority of people do not know the law. A majority of people do not know their rights. A majority of people would be stuck as fuck in a situation if the police were to demand your phone. And overwhelmingly, because Americans are such fucking sheep that just adhere to whatever cops say. Oh, well, the officer told me blah, blah, blah. Well, oftentimes these police themselves are very ignorant of the law. They know how to police. They don't know how to enforce the fucking law. Why? Because these motherfuckers don't read the law. They don't know the goddamn law. Oh, someone just said money. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You broke up my train of thought, but I appreciate the support. But listen to what I'm saying. When you have a culture like this, and again, it wouldn't shock me, and I know it shouldn't shock anybody. We see these stories come out all the time. These police are predators. Women in particular are vulnerable to getting pulled over by police, particularly when they are traveling alone or in the dark or, you know, on deserted highways and byways. There's been studies. There's been studies upon this. And the fact that these two cops were caught at around the same time, I find increasingly fascinating. Now, let me tell you where I am a little concerned about the incoming Trump administration. Part of the reason why these two creepy ass cops were caught is because they were investigated by the Department of Justice. I am a tiny bit concerned to the extent that the DOJ does a good job of reining in corrupt or killer or all around bad cops. I can't really say because usually the DOJ doesn't get involved until the shit is egregious, right? But under Trump's Department of Justice, would cases like this get investigated at all? Are Are police in America going to be given the green light for your body, my choice, right? Are they going to increase their numbers of assaults on women? Are they going to continue to violate women's privacy in the way that these two Missouri cops did, stealing their intimate pictures and videos under the guise of them, you know, complying with a cop's direction to provide their insurance information? I don't anticipate that we're going to get more policing of the police. So what we can do is try to guard and safeguard our personal information as much as possible. Now, I'm not going to go full auntie and be like, well, you shouldn't be taking naked pictures in the first goddamn place. No, I won't say that. because that horse has been left the barn, beloved. These kids is taking all kinds of shots of themselves. And when I say kids, I'm talking about 35-year-olds and under, right? That's who the fuck I mean by kids. But like I've told y'all in the past, your biometric information, your phone, you need to have a lock code on your phone. Do not let your phone be opened through your retina scan or through a fingerprint or thumbprint. You need to be unlocking your phone with a code. Police cannot compel you to unlock your phone with a code, but they can compel you to unlock it with your fingerprint or with your retina scan or face ID. They can make you open your phone via that way. They cannot make you put your code in your phone. Keep that in mind. If you are a motorist and you're a woman in particular, learn from this story. Make sure you got your insurance card as a physical card on a piece of paper, okay? You never want to hand over your phone to the police without a warrant. I don't give a fuck what he needs to see. Read that shit off to that nigga. Show him or screenshot it and tell him you will text him a picture of your insurance information. The police does not get to remove your phone from your possession and take it into their vehicle with them. Never, never, never. Please share this information with young women, young femmes in your life. Tell them this. Like, we cannot let the ease of convenience by having everything on our phone be the reason that we get our rights violated for no fucking reason. And again, I'm not blaming any of these women that had their nudes stolen from them. They didn't deserve that, and they didn't do anything to deserve that. Tragically, they were preyed upon by fucking creeps. And hold on, let me back up to these fucking creeps for a second. Wait a goddamn second. Why are we still in nudes? Wait a minute. Do you know how much pornography exists on the web for free? Por gratis? Like, there's a lot of free skin in cheek slapping on the internet. The fuck you gotta steal strangers' nudes for? What kind of mind does that denote that these officers were? Like, what kind of person does that? Like, no, man, I can't get off on the stuff on the free stuff, man. No, man, I gotta violate. I gotta acquire this intimate media from stranger women. Oh, it's so much harder when they don't know that I've taken their nudes. Disgusting. Like, just deplorable. And thank God that they got these fucking rapists in training early, because, you know, we know how it starts off with the predators. It always starts off on something, quote, low level. The peeping Tom, the fucking locker room hole in the wall. I don't fucking know. And then it always goes up, right? So these Bamas were stealing nudes and videos. Trust me, if they had remained on the force for another 2, 5, 10 years, they would have been serial rapists. No question about that. So I guess thanks to the DOJ for doing something to try to get a small hold on these disgusting predator ass cops, because these cops ain't shit. They are misogynists, they are abusers, they are rapists, and they are legion. And they are now emboldened because of America. I won't say because of Trump, because guess what? These fucking perverts were doing this shit in whose America? That's right, Biden's America. That is correct. And on our final note, kids, I'm going to leave y'all with a little funny. I'm going to leave y'all here with a funny. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown. We certainly appreciate all of the folks that have tuned in and checked out with us tonight. Thank you so. Oh, wait. Someone did say money. Hold on. The money. Oh, shit. My dumb ass. Hold on. Give me a second. Don't forget, everybody, to tune into the Good Remix Morning Show. We do this Tuesdays through Fridays. They did a great job on the morning show today. Hey, what's up, librarian? Thank you so much for your support. We certainly appreciate that. Shout out to Dawn Bird. Afraid Not. Thank you so much, Donnie. We love you. Thank you. What's up, Robin C? Thank you, Robin. Valley Girls, my niece is in here. Hey.
We Essential too.
Oh, Extentials. Thank you so much, Extentials, so much for your support. We appreciate you guys.
Hit that like and subscribe, y'all. Thanks.
Hit that like and subscribe. Is that everybody? Well, that's enough. That's and listen, we appreciate everyone that shows up. I see some trolls in here. Wait, hold on. What's up to my Twitch collective? Northern Witch, DD, Rosalba. Thank you guys so much. What up, Twitch? BIDWKB on Twitch. Appreciate it. Trolls, y'all good? What's the matter? You got everything you wanted and it's still not enough? Y'all sent out the mass text for blacks to report to the plantations to start picking cotton immediately and nobody showed up. Now y'all sad. I don't know what y'all sad for. Y'all about to be the new wage slaves. It's gonna be y'all getting picked up at the Home Depot parking lot on Saturday mornings. Watch what I tell you. You're gonna ship out all the workers. Get your ass out there, Chad. Come on, Connor. Get your ass up out of bed. I know y'all played motherfucking Call of Duty all goddamn night. Time to go swing a hammer, you lazy pieces of shit. Sorry. My bad, Declan. Fucking Montana. Goddamn. And I can't, and I don't even like the fact that the whites have co-opted so many Indian names, because I was about to say Dakota, but Dakota, the Dakota, righteous, the fucking cracker Dakotas. No. Oh, y'all need to turn over them Dakotas, because y'all motherfuckers do not have the gumption to be named Dakota. Anyway, speaking of niggas who lack gumption, so I am not a fan of AI, okay? Do you know what artificial intelligence sounds like to me? It reminds me of Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors, okay? It is the fucking plant in the corner, the carnivorous plant, that the more you feed it, the more it consumes. It will consume all. There will be nothing left because you done fed AI every fucking thing. Now AI know more than us, and AI gonna outsmart and replace us. Way to go. Way to go, everybody. But apparently, I guess AI can be used for humor. And I encountered this video, and of course my dumb ass, because I'm 86 years old. So I seen the video and I'm like, it took me a few seconds to deduce that this was artificial intelligence, because the things said by the person in this video I'm about to play, it sounded all very plausible. I said, wow, look at this person living in their truth. So While Donald Trump is announcing the new members of his cabinet, so far, one of his biggest supporters has been conspicuously absent from any new cabinet appointed positions, and that will be South Carolina Senator Timmy Scott. Now, Timmy Scott, he skinned and he grinned. He skinned and grinned at very high levels for Donald Trump. For Donald Trump, skinned and grinned. And I know Timmy is waiting for his comeuppance. Where is my cabinet appointment, boss? Oh, Timmy. oh, poor Timmy. Anyway, so artificial intelligence got me for about 6 seconds on this video, but I laughed at the shit. I said, let us make this tonight's palate cleanser. So Will, play this video and make sure it starts from the very beginning, because the voice at the beginning is also recognizable. Let's take a look.
Message from Senator Tim Scott.
I've told you once before that I'd do anything for...
And now a message from Senator Tim Scott.
I've told you once before that I'd do anything for President Trump. I appreciate him picking me to serve in his cabinet, though it may not be the kind of cabinet I was hoping for, but I'm eternally thankful. My loyalty to the president has no end. And if I have to get on my knees every day, clean his toilets, buff his shoes, buck dance, prance, and even be his own personal nostalgic minstrel show, or set the table, prep and bib him for Big Macs, it will always be a great, great honor and my eternal duty to do so.
Can I tell you how I literally whistled Dixie for about 2 hours after I first saw that video? When I was in Dixie, hooray, hooray. And I'm like, wow, look at Tim Scott living fully, living his actualized life, what he wants to be at the beck and call of a wealthy, powerful white man. And even though that is not Tim Scott who said those things, did it not sound like it could have actually been Tim Scott saying those actual things verbatim, like direct quotes? Did that seem very far out of the range? Not to me either. Not to me either. So we'll see if Timmy gets his reward for all that stepping and fetching and skinning and grinning that he did on behalf of Donald Trump, or is he going to show us and prove once again it does not pay to be a fucking simp? Can we say, look at and let Tim Scott's lack of promotion, let Kamala Harris's lack of election. Y'all, you can do the most as a black person in America. You can try your best to outwhite the whites. You can learn the system in and out. You can know how the shit works, how the levers operate, and all of that shit. America will remind you that you are Negro. And to them, Negro means subservient. Now, of course, we know that Negro means amazing, because America would absolutely fall apart without Negroes. And it's going to actually be deeply, deeply hampered without Latinos. But, you know, we're going to America, I guess, got to learn the shit the hard way. But Tim Scott should have been picked for Trump's VP position, right? No question about that. He wasn't. Not sure if he's going to get a cabinet position. And guess what? No matter how much he cooned, no matter how hard he samboed, he's going to get passed over again. Why? Because he's not one of the good old boys. No matter how hard he tries to be one of the good old boys, he will never be. And let that be a lesson to all you fucking sellouts, to all you social climbers, to all you class aspirationalists. They may even let you get to a certain level, but you're not going to ever be able to fully sit at the grown-ups table, okay? I'm not going to allow that to happen. So let Kamala and Tim Scott serve as a reminder that you can be exceptional Negro all you want. But America will intentionally put roadblocks and limitations to the zenith of your aspirations, okay? So just don't forget that. The more you know. And I'm out. Hey, Coconut in the Corn, thank you so much for checking in. Hey, Canada, congratulations, by the way. Well, apologies about Trudeau as always, but congratulations. I saw that y'all going to get tax reprieve for 2 whole months. Trudeau, fuck Trudeau, just to be clear. When I say that these random Bammers do occasionally decent things, don't take it as I fuck with them at all. It's fuck Trudeau. But Trudeau told the people that they're going to eliminate the GST. That's like the federal tax, the national tax on groceries, on beer and wine, on food, on all kinds of shit for 2 months. I said, well, goddamn. I said they would never do no shit like that here in America. They would never give us a no federal taxes for 2 months on shit. Ain't no way in the world. So anyway, but Brenda King, thank you so much. Who else from Utopia? Project Dystopia. What's up, Project Dystopia? Appreciate you so much. Lawrence Librarian, appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. What's up to our usual suspect? Where my brother James? What's up, KJ Sakuma? You know, what's up to Lou Kang? Louis Kang be floating around here from time to time. Lou Kang be checking in on the classical breakdown. Said we appreciate it, pimp. Shout out to my OG. Shout out to Shirley. Shirley, I miss you, baby. We love you. I know you around here circulating, percolating, doing your thug thizzle. Stay safe out there. Go pick you up a chopper. Go get you the yappa. You live in one of them states where they give the yappas away at the fucking supermarket. Go get you a couple of them joints. Go pick them up. Shout out to all of our abroad contingent, our UK contingent. What's up, Stoner Lona? What's up, Ursula? What's up, Lady Heloise? What's up, V? So anyway, I appreciate you guys to pieces. And we'll see y'all back here on Tuesday. Don't forget, y'all, Tuesday evenings, we start a little later. So it's like 7:30-ish. Between 7 and 7:30 is when we begin on Tuesdays. Also, don't forget to tune into Renee Johnston and Reverend Dr. Jared Ball. Saturdays with Renee on Black Liberation Media, 11 a.m. Eastern. N'oubliez pas. Merci beaucoup. Okay, gang, we'll see y'all on Tuesday. Like and subscribe on your way out the door, please. And thank you. We love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much to Will and Male. And we'll see y'all later. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Deuces, deuces.